Hey, Hamish, how are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Nice day to round off the week. It's been a pretty busy one here.
You're
How about
working
yourself?
from you're working from home.
Yeah, doing a few days in the office, few days at home, so having a nice split.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, we're very excited. We are, we have the summit here, and a lot of people are watching, and we have these fintechs from all over the world. And I wanted to know more about your product. But before we dive into the company and your product, maybe a little bit of a background about yourself, so people will get to know what you did before that company.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so God, it's been an interesting road. So while I was at university back up in North Scotland, in Aberdeen, I started my first business, which was a mobile network, Twigged, and with that you could trade your spare data, and the whole aim of that was to make it that people could reduce the cost of their phone bill, and if they were savvy enough, have it for free. But I put that one aside back in 2018. Went out to work on the West Coast for a while, which was pretty fun out in LA and San Francisco. Saw had that whole American kind of Californian Silicon Valley experience, which was pretty full on. And then came back here, and back in 2019 started delving into open banking and what it can do. And it was really then that kind of Trilo really took shape and started going, because the whole thing started out back with my first business. We were having a bit of fun with the kind of high prices and the costs associated with cards with that mobile network. And one of the main reasons why that didn't work was because our margins were just disappearing from that. And then when I was in the US, I also had two fraud attempts on my card in the first month just by using it around the shops. And then when I came back to the UK, and was just chatting with, actually that was with the guys from Izettel up in Scotland. We just stumbled across open banking
Hmm.
and realized that with open banking, you can make a way that merchants and customers, me and you, we can all just connect and engage so much better together. And that because there are no cards and no middlemen, you can give both those businesses and the consumers so much more of a in-depth and better experience. But anyway, I think we'll probably touch on that in a bit, won't we?
Hmm.
So yeah, no, it's been a pretty roller coaster ride,
Yeah,
and
open
now we're
banking,
actually
definitely.
we're now gearing up for our alpha launch, which we're hopefully going to be able to speak about a bit next week. So probably by the time we go out, we'll have that out there as well.
Wow. Hey, I really want to get involved in the alpha. Yeah, open banking, I think it's super exciting. I mean, of course, it was born in the UK, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Well, actually, no. So open banking, the first iteration of it started out in the US, but then the UK kind of started building the actual open banking stuff that we know now, and obviously PSD2, which is the regulation that allows it all, is Europe wide, and that's the beautiful thing. We can launch here, and then we can move out and help businesses both in the UK and in Europe and throughout. You've got even places, so all the way down in Australia, over in Latin
yes,
America, it's all
yes.
starting to open up, and so there is so much fun and opportunity that we can get into.
Yeah, even here in the summit, we have amazing Australian neobanks and fintechs, and
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't remember how is it called there. Maybe it's not called open banking, but it's starting to also spread around the world. Also here in Israel, I mean, it's just really the beginning. But
Yeah.
you see other markets here, even the Emirates, and of course emerging and markets like Singapore and Hong Kong, and we have all these. You can look at on these models all over the world. I mean, it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, and I think this is good because you've had so much stuff happening here in the UK, especially until now. It's only really been on the account side, the data and that side. But now with us and with a few other partner players like us out there, we're starting to get a bit more traction, a bit more oomph happening on the payment side. And so hopefully we can really use this as a case to go out. You've also got things like in India with their UPI platform, which is incredible what they've got. So there's a lot of a lot of evidence to show that it is such a powerful thing that can give people of all shapes and sizes so much more control and power,
Yeah.
and especially it allows you to kind of break up a certain duopoly that is out there that's pretty big and powerful.
So you decided that you want to be, of course, you were an early adopter, and you saw you saw in your imagination, you started understanding like what is the potential here, and you want to be one of the smart players in this new era. And what is the value that you can bring to businesses and personal? Walk me through some use cases, maybe.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, one of the issues that we had previously was that with cards, you've inherently got the transaction fees in there. Though that businesses, no matter their size, have to pay a portion of their fee of what they earn in that transaction fee on every payment. It also takes days for those funds to arrive. Some of the more tech focused acquirers, they take 7 days, 10 days, and longer. And what we realized that with open banking and the way that we're building Trilo is that because there aren't those middlemen there, firstly, we can give the businesses their money in minutes instead of having to wait days. But also, we can do something that is impossible in the previous world. We can get rid of transaction fees so that businesses of all sizes, they can just say goodbye to them. And they never have to pay a penny of what they earn in those fees ever again. And instead, we build out a very simple subscription system that is gauged towards their activity with the network and with our ecosystem and with our users. And then on the other side, so that gives them that really nice efficiency, and they can invest so much more money back into their company and build it and grow. And especially in today's climate, they can keep their staff and everything. But then on the other side, something that is key and absolutely vital is you and me, is our experience when we're paying, because we've got these. I'm not going to show anything more because it's probably a bit more public, but we've got cards, and they work. They're easy for me and you. We like them, we know them, we trust them, and so why would we bother using open banking? And that's where we are putting our experience right at that forefront, making it that for us, we never need to enter any info. We never need to do any long forms or anything. But most importantly, that whenever you pay with Trilo, you get a boost every time. So whether that's a few percent off when you're shopping, whether that's a free beer down at the pub, upgrade on the coffee, or a meal deal as that boost. We're really working with our partners, both small businesses and big businesses of all shapes and sizes, to really invest back in us, in their customers, to give them an even more incredible time and an even more awesome experience that you just can't really get with kind of cards and that pure open banking side. So yeah, I guess our two pillars are on the business side. We've got the ability that they can say goodbye to transaction fees, and that we replaced it with a very simple, highly efficient subscription platform. And then for consumers, you and I, me and you, not sure which way around that is, me and you, I think it's me and you, I think. We get that boost whenever we pay, and we always get that nice little kickback and that nice little reward, whether that is that percent off or beer. Wow. Yeah, and then we've got a few other pretty exciting things that we're working on as well.
And how do you come up with all these ideas and features? How do you listen to your consumers, like the customers? Like, how do you build a community around?
So pretty much the whole of last year, so 2019, that was spent. Firstly, for me, I started doing this with very little knowledge of the payments world whatsoever. I came from the pain side. I came from the side of having fraud on my card, of doing a business that was in pain. And so I spent the whole of last year just speaking with some of the most incredibly smart people out there in the payments world, who are so switched on and have so much more experience than I could ever dream of. But also from going out and just speaking to businesses on the street, to cafes, to other startup founders, and then to friends and Joe blogs, and just trying to find out what is wrong, what's painful, what's there, and iterating. I mean, for us, something even on this subscription, the subscription platform that we're going to be launching soon, that has iterated and changed even over the last kind of month, just from speaking with more people and figuring out what's the best approach there. I think one thing that is a bit of a shame is because we are the amount that we needed to build, because we've built the whole network and the whole ecosystem. We haven't been able to launch really early, so we haven't been able to get direct feedback straight out. But now with our alpha coming out in the next week or so, we're going to be able to really work with and learn from even more customers, and then with the beta, even more partners. And so once we get that out, we can learn and iterate and really kind of push on with as much feedback as we can get.
What can you tell me about the team that you accumulated?
Yeah, so we've been pretty lucky. I've managed to find some rather incredible people. So we've got in the team now. We've got myself. Then I'm not one of the incredible people. The incredible people are Tobin, who's our CTO. He's joined. He's been with me for a long time. Then we've also got Johannes, who is an A grade or A star grade engineer, both on the front and he's a bit of a whiz on the back end as well. But then what's been very helpful is we brought on just after we're authorized and regulated by the FCA, which was interesting to go through. And we brought on Usman, who's been leading our kind of compliance and legal, and having his experience there to be able to call on and learn from is so powerful. He had been at Revolut and then Oval Money, so he's had a lot of knowledge and experience in that space. And we've built on a really great team of advisors. And just recently, we've also brought on a chap called Sam, who's helping us out much more kind of part-time for now on that growth side and really figuring out how best to go. But I think the real power comes from when you have great people in the directly in the kind of the management side, but also really powerful advisors and people who you can rely on and trust on, who you can pick up the phone to and just have a chat with and go through anything that you've got any thoughts on.
You raised money, or you started bootstrapping and
started off bootstrapping. Last year I was fortunate enough to find a house that was house sitting, so I didn't need to pay that side, which was definitely a saving grace. But other than that, I was living on about £4 a day, so that was an interesting year last year. I think there were 2 weeks when I had the same food. It was just pasta and a very small bit of tomato. That was I finished that year with about £100 in my bank account. That was a fun year. But no, now we raised a small bit of funding. So we raised our pre-seed just at the start of COVID. And that's allowed us to build out this team and get the FCA authorization through, build out and connect with our initial beta partners who will be launching within in a few weeks. And yeah, it's been good. So now we're, as is always the case with startups, you're always on the hunt for the next stage of funding.
Yeah, and now we have here a global summit, and a lot of people are watching you. So of course you can use the stage and pitch to them, and you can think of collaborations and partnerships, and a lot of very smart people over here in fintechs that can really connect to what you're doing, or even investors. Of course, investors. We are a matchmaking summit, so it's not just about hearing the talks; it's also about being connected and matched based on your needs. So a lot of these companies,
I know. I think that's where things like this are so good, because you can find other businesses who are thinking of ways that you could never think of yourself, and that together we can do some incredible things. I mean, for us, so something that we're doing with our alpha that we're launching, or hopefully we'll have launched by the time this is out, is that one of my real passions is kind of the climate and kind of. I'm not sure if you've seen the recent David Attenborough piece on the BBC about the kind of extinction side, and it really lays it out very bare that the situation we're in is so rife, and we can still do stuff. And what our alpha is going to be is that we're launching that in the next week, so that people can join Trilo. And the first thing that we're saying that you can do is you can fund a tree. You can go out and plant a tree. And we've partnered up with a scheme, an operation, a group up in the north of the UK who have got this incredible wildlands, which they're just replanting and doing it very naturally, so that it gets a lot back into it. And so we're through chatting with them, we found out that we can do this rather awesome thing and help out the kind of that local environment. So if you haven't, everyone who's watching, go and join and help plant a tree with them. All of those proceeds goes directly to those trees, and then hey, you get a Trilo t-shirt at the same time. So kind of a nice little win-win for everyone.
I didn't see this the t-shirt, but I would definitely want to see. it's nice that you're, thinking about these ideas and doing the stuff. And yeah,
Well, I think that that's a beautiful thing, because the way that we've built this, and with open banking, everything's digital. So there's no bits of plastic or any hardware. So if you're paying with Trilo in a shop at the cafe, it's all just scanning a QR code with your phone. There's no machine that needs to be done. There's no massive data centers, and that allows us to really embrace that and give so much more back than we could normally do. But no, that's one of our key kind of drives to fix that side, as well as the pretty hefty issue with kind of the card world as well.
Are you looking to how are you learning? Like I'm learning so much, from all these fintechs around the world. Sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes another startup in another country, or you can take this feature or that thing, and as you said.
So I mean, some great things that we've learned from are obviously out in Asia. You've got WeChat Pay and Alipay, who have made some very nice, very good systems out there. Then even close to home in Sweden, you've got Swish, which is a very nice, easy to use kind of bank-to-bank system. And then across the pond in the US, you've got things like Venmo and Cash App, which really help on that peer-to-peer payment side. So there are so many platforms out there that have been built out on kind of the previous generation, and we can now use those, merge together those areas into what we're trying to build, and try and learn from as many mistakes as they've done as well. Because I mean, we've got a lot of mistakes ahead of us, most likely, and it's trying to figure out which ones we can avoid without us having to make them ourselves.
I've been opening all these accounts.
Yeah, I think I've got somewhere. I think it's in my room. I think I've got a stack about that high of cards of all sorts.
I had the feeling. Yeah. I had the feeling, because it seems like you like, just like me, to experience the product. And, to learn.
Yeah, and especially for us, we want to make sure that Trilo works perfectly well for all people as well. So I think I've had to open a bank account in every single one. I hope that doesn't affect my credit score. But
yeah. I have the same issues. I have European citizenship, and it really helps me, because in Israel we don't have all these neobanks and stuff. We are an amazing nation of startups and innovation, but a lot of it is going outside of Israel.
Yeah. Because you guys have got some pretty hefty startup hubs out there, haven't you? And
yes,
a good amount of investors as well.
Amazing. Lemonade, for example, that people are talking in the insurtech industry. eToro, that you probably know, like so many great companies out there, and also in fintechs, but also in other areas. A lot of startups. What are you most exciting? I mean, obviously you have the alpha, which is coming, and you worked very hard to come to this point. What is exciting for you? Maybe, and you mentioned other markets in the future. So you want to build it in the UK, but you're already thinking in your business plan.
So we're initially launching in the UK, because as you said earlier, the UK, the banks here with open banking, the APIs are pretty much perfect now, and they're working really nice. So we can launch here and help so many businesses and consumers here and get going, and then looking elsewhere into other markets. But for now, short term, we're really excited with our beta that we'll be launching. We've got a few partners lining up there that we're going to be launching with, one of which is a very cool table service platform that has spun out of a company called Charged Up. And so we're getting in and helping them out, and going to really work in as much of an exciting kind of boost side for users who are paying with Trilo in there as possible, to mainly give those pubs something back. And I think what's been such a shame with COVID is that all these businesses, so pubs especially, who have been so used to dealing with cash, they've now all suddenly have to switch all their operations to card. And so suddenly, from having no transaction fees with cash, they're going to suddenly having 1%, 2%, 3% there. And so if we can go in there and help them get their money.
That's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. And giving their customers even more reason to, I need to be careful what I'm saying when you're drinking alcohol, but even more reason to buy more things and spend more. That's brilliant, because we can give all parties involved a much, much better time. And so I think that's going to be really interesting and exciting. And then we're also having a few conversations with some other retailers that I can't quite speak about at the moment, but hopefully in the next month or so, we'll be able to start releasing some of these. So it's, it's 2020 is rounding off quite nicely. Well, it's not rounding off, it's only September, but it's going on now quite nicely.
I like your focus and what you're trying to do and serve, these businesses, certainly during these times. How can people find more information, follow you, get the recent updates?
Yeah. So I think, in terms of getting a bit more info, you can head to our website. So just Trilo.io. Hopefully, you'll be able to also sign up and go and fund one of those trees if you haven't yet. So you can head to plant.trilo.io there, and then you can also experience how we are really focusing on making the most the simplest way to pay and cutting down as many barriers as you can. So you can go on, try it out. I think following us and everything, that would be absolutely awesome. I've not personally yet figured out Twitter. I think I'm still learning that it is a beast of a whole.
Hey, you're from the UK and you haven't figured out Twitter. All my UK friends are on Twitter.
It's So we're mainly doing stuff on LinkedIn at the moment. We haven't yet got someone who can focus the whole time on social. Once we've launched and we've got our revenue and seed funding, then we'll be able to get that. But for now, the kind of latest info is on LinkedIn, and we'll be building out a.
LinkedIn is good. Yeah, LinkedIn is good. It's how I found you. Yeah.
And it's good as well because you can really get a much better conversation going and everything. So yeah, I mean, head over to LinkedIn, head over to the website and sign up. We've got an early bird program there for the earliest of adopters, and that's obviously going to move into the alpha with tree planting, and yeah,
amazing. Nice. Thank you very, very much, and enjoy the summit. I'm just like you. I love to learn about these fintechs, so I'm gonna, of course, be here the whole day and do the interviews, but also watch others and connect to other fintechs around the world. And I can't wait to meet face to face and see how you serve these businesses. It's amazing, and good luck for me and the whole team.
Thanks. It's good. It will be a bit of a blast.
Amazing. Take care.
See you.